Hey everybody, welcome to the fun. My name's Chris K. Daniels. In this video, I would like to introduce you to the idea of wealth development as a filmmaker. I want to share some of my insight, perspective, and learnings as far as growing wealth in order to achieve financial independence for folks that are in this world, the creative world, the entertainment world, and specifically the film world. Through understanding the cash flow quadrant and generally how wealth can start to work in the movie making world, you can start to better understand what it is you're working towards and in time, increase your wealth. Now, I've been a filmmaker for about 5 years and a general content creator for about 8 years. Prior to this year, my income, my small amount of income, that is, came from freelance filmmaking. It ranged from gig to gig as far as the detail of work that was involved and how much money was involved, but generally that's where about 90% of my money came from before 2020. Now, let me put it on the record. This year, I've spent more time than ever on my filmmaking career, but most of that time was spent working on my own long-term passion projects. No unwanted gigs. I have not taken on a single unwanted film gig this entire year. The reason for this is because I've spent a remarkable amount of time learning about and building up a system of wealth. Not income, not salary, but wealth. And fortunately, this wealth development journey is starting to create a life for me that I really love living. That sounds stupid, but it's true. It's heavily filled with filmmaking, but also heavily filled with investing, assets, and just building, really. I want to make it clear, I am still on this journey. I've made incredible developments in 2020, but I am by no means done with my filmmaking, wealth building journey. Though at the point I am at, I have so much that I've learned that I just wish I knew years ago. The first thing I want to touch on here is my initial misconception, and possibly a lot of you out there watching right now have this misconception too. The best way I've learned to explain this concept is by looking at and understanding what's called the cash flow quadrant. This is a breakdown originally coined by Robert Kiyosaki. The quadrant is broken up into 4 sections. Obviously, it's showcasing the 4 main forms of income to better understand where the differences lie. So let's take a look here. Quadrant 1, the employee. This is where most people lie. You work for an employer. The amount of time you actively put in determines the amount of money you make. It's time in exchange for money. Classic. Now, Quadrant 2, the self-employed. This is where you own your job. This is very cool. And this is the most common spot for filmmakers. It's freelance generally. You set your own hours. You're free to come and go as you want. You set your own work life pretty much. And that's great. But still, generally it is an exchange of hours worked for money earned. Quadrant 3, the business or business system owner. Now we're getting into the territory of real wealth building. In this quadrant, you own a system that creates money for you. So the more money the system earns, the more money you earn. There's leverage involved, there's risk involved, there's capital involved, etc., etc. Ow. But this quadrant no longer involves a direct exchange of time for money. That's important to understand. Now, Quadrant 4, the investor. This is where money works for you. Let me tell you, this is a cool place to be. And hey, the range here is vast, but the basics are you put money into something as an initial investment with the expectation of earning a return over a duration of time. This cash flow quadrant idea gave me a lot of perspective. I understood those fundamentals, but not in such a clear way. What's interesting is, yes, this is a very business-minded way of looking at finances, which I personally love, but it occurred to me that this is also an incredibly relevant thing to understand in the world of filmmaking. Now, like I said, I come from the world of freelance, so that would technically be in Quadrant 2, self-employed. But really, when you're creating an independent film, it's just a small-scale company startup. A production plan is just a business plan. You raise money or self-fund with the expectation of building and growing it into more. And if you achieve scale, you own this system that creates wealth for you. Think of every successful movie franchise, right? Those are quite literally just flawlessly executed business systems in the world of entertainment. This connection became clear to me the more I learned about wealth building. And with that, the 4th quadrant, the investor. Man, welcome to the world of producing. Along my filmmaking career, I have executive produced quite a few really awesome projects. When I produce a project, I generally trade my experience, my work, my licenses, my insurances, my brand for equity in a film. just as well I can invest my money in lieu of that. So to hold my equity in a film and secure my position as a producer, I can invest money to produce a film and get it made with the expectation of owning a percentage of the net profit once the film gets distribution. And this is exactly what I do on a larger scale in the stock market now. I exchange my money for outstanding shares of a company in hopes that said company will grow in revenue and I will get a return on my money. The financial wealth concept systems of filmmaking are so important. I'm continuously building my understanding and my position in the film industry as well as the financial world. The more I learn and the more I achieve, the more I'm going to share and try to break down. If fellow filmmakers out there learn and understand in this same way, I believe we're going to have a very interesting free market of filmmaking over the next 50 years or so. What it all comes down to is this understanding of wealth building assets. You may be saying, what's an asset? Well, to quote the wise, the almighty Google, in financial accounting, an asset is any resource owned by a business or economic entity. It is anything that can be owned or controlled to produce value and that is held by an economic entity that can produce positive economic value. That's a stupid definition. That doesn't do it justice. I plan on talking a lot more specifically about film-based assets on this channel over time, but the big thing to take for now, movies are assets. Film franchise licenses are assets. Movie soundtracks are assets. Movie art design merchandise are assets. If you're a freelance filmmaking service or commercial person, there's a good chance that you, in some way, are an asset. Understand this. Acquiring assets is how you build real wealth. This is a commonality in all the books I've been reading and all the courses I've been taking and all the videos I've been watching and all the talks I've been listening to. That seems to be the commonality. Assets are the way to build true wealth. It's what I'm doing on the stock market, on the regular market, and in my filmmaking career. Let me give you a real-world example that's rather popular on the YouTube space. The filmmaking niche on YouTube is huge, and I'm sure if you've spent any time in this space, you've experienced a YouTuber trying to sell you their LUT pack. Right now I'm having a huge sale, 50% off on my Cinemonic LUT pack. Click the link in the description to go purchase it. The same thing holds true for people's sound effects packs or light transition packs. These are all digital products. Creators will make an online store with a bit of e-commerce functionality and they'll sell digital products. The beauty of these digital products is that they can sell endlessly without the seller ever having to deal with any form of inventory. These stores are all assets. They're online website assets that generate income and ideally progressively grow wealth over time. In this case, the products are actually digital assets too, but in terms of large-scale financial assets, these film digital product stores are wealth-building, hugely profitable assets. And listen, they're great. As long as they're not ripping you off with crappy products, everybody wins. And so even though it's a simple introduction to online assets, a lot of filmmaking YouTubers have realized the value of this form of income / wealth / asset development. All right, this is a good stopping point for this little introduction. This is the start of my series on understanding wealth as a filmmaker. If this is something you find interesting, please, for the love of God, comment and tell me that. If this video bombs, I'm probably going to abandon this whole series immediately, so definitely comment and let me know. Either way, thank you so much for watching. I have plenty more exciting ideas and things that I've learned / achieved / been learning / am just extremely interested in that I very much look forward to sharing. Also, if you like this video, toss me a like. That'd be really cool. Also, if you're interested in investing, I have links to sign up for Robinhood, M1 Finance, or WEBULL down below. Every one of those links give you either free stocks or free money the first time you sign up for an account. So go click those links if you haven't started and you want to start. That's cool too. All right, that's all. Thank you so much again. I will see you next time. Be safe out there. Bye.